What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Early Edge. I've got my BetMGM betting app ready to go. I've got baseball on. It must mean we've got an MLB live stream coming up. It's 12:58. We got our first game that we're going to talk about in 7 minutes. There's a game going on right now. Let's go ahead and bring in the stars of the show here on the SportsLine YouTube channel. Make sure you are subscribed. Wow, what a cast. We got the sniper. His Cubs are playing in 6.5 minutes. We got AMags. He's got his bat. AKA, or I should say, a la Daniel Alistair Caffey from A Few Good Men. We got Tom Casale, and of course, we've got Mike McClure. I guess, Sniper, I have to start with you. You were on it was AMags that was on the show this morning. There was some Cubs fever this morning. They start in about 6 minutes. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about these games live. But for the ones that haven't gone off yet, we're going to have some picks to talk about, maybe some leans, maybe some official plays. Sniper, I start with your Cubs. Cubs first five was mentioned. Cubs money line was a sports line pick. Any thoughts on your Cubs?
Yeah, I'm going to get even more aggressive than that. I'm going to say the Cubs score in the first inning. It's plus 200. So I love the plus money there. Look, Jesus Luzardo, lefty on the mound for the Phillies, historically bad in his last two starts. I know that there's a chance that he evens it out, but there's also a chance that he hit a roadblock here and is completely falling apart until they have to throw a phantom IL stint on him. Ian Happ, Cubs leadoff man, he's very streaky. He hit a home run 2 nights ago. He hit 2 yesterday. So that's a good chance for a quick start there. Tucker hits second. I know it's lefty there, but he's 308 with a 577 slug against left-handers. Then you've got Seiya Suzuki. Then you've got Pete Crow Armstrong. I like the chances for the Cubs to jump on Luzardo in the first here. So,
Tom Casale, I want to go to you next because you've got the under with Ben Brown's recorded outs. Any thoughts on, I mean, is this kind of like a Cubs fade here? Where are we at with Ben Brown?
No, it's not a Cubs fade. I actually like the Cubs overall in this game. I just think when you look at his total body of work, he's pitched really well his last 2 outings. But overall this season, he hasn't pitched deep into games. And I also think the Phillies could have some success offensively here. They got to him the last time they played, 6 runs and 9 hits and 3.2 innings of work. So I actually like the Cubs to win the game, but I think there could be some scoring early on for both teams.
AMags, I know you've got that Cubs first 5 money line play at plus 110. Does this contemplate, these picks contemplate the PCA not playing in this game? I mean, and if not, what's your outlook here?
So I was going to say, I had that one down before the lineup came out, to be fair. I love PCA. He's been amazing. But look, it's all right. I had mentioned it at plus 110. You still have guys like Dansby Swanson, who hit a home run last night. You have Ian Happ, who had 2, right? So against lefty, I kind of agree with Sniper. You're in a spot here where Luzardo's either really going downhill, probably hitting the IL at some point, and you catch him with 1, maybe 2 more, but he also could be very good. So we are tailing with Rick Funcannon Jr. in the chat. Shout out to him. This was a pick that he loved, and we're all kind of tailing with him on the first 5 money line.
You know what that means?
I apologize. I mentioned Pete Crow Armstrong. I did not look at the lineup. I just assumed he was going to play. This is the first time he's sat all year, so I'm sorry about that. But no, he's played every inning until now, so it makes sense to sit him right now.
Mike, let me ask you something, and good shout out to everybody in the chat. We have a lot of people in the chat. I'm sure it's going to grow. It actually will probably grow if you all hit the like button, the way the YouTube algorithm works. So please do that if you can. And again, make sure you're subscribed to this YouTube channel. I want to say hi to Jen M, B Germ, Irish John, Jason Harad. I'm just scrolling here, so I'm going to miss some names. Alex Jones, Big Cheesy's in here. Joe Neuenfeld, Jeff Stenberg. A lot of people, Aaron Taylor, Tailored Winnings, a lot of those people also in the SportsLine Discord. John Eccles is in here, Gator fan. Mike, when it comes to Luzardo, do you have any thoughts there? I mean, when a pitcher's got a couple of, I mean, it's obviously a case-by-case basis, but how do you assess him coming off a couple of really bad starts? Is it like, okay, well, he's going to rein it in, kind of like Giolito did yesterday to some degree against the Rays, or is it going to be a situation where you're looking him continuing to slip?
You know, I would just simply pay attention, but I think that if you're looking to back him here or bet against him here, I think that this is a good spot to do it just because he's had 2 rough starts in a row. To me, that means the leash could be very short if he doesn't have success early. And as AMags mentioned, then potentially an IL stint if it is, similar to what we've seen. I think he's a high variance pitcher in general in terms of strikeouts. So I like fading him in the strikeout number since it's requiring 6 for a win condition. When you look at his two really good pitching outings lately, they came against the A's and the Rockies, two teams that strike out quite a bit against left-handed pitching. The Cubs are the exact opposite. Basically, the third lowest strikeout rate against lefties to begin with. Pretty good walk rate. I like going under on 5.5 strikeouts here. I just think that day game, decent hitting environment, decent hitting conditions overall, low K rate. But as far as a pitcher that's struggled multiple times in a row, always look for context, always consider the opponent. But in this spot, I think you're good to bet against him because I think the hook could be very short.
Okay. So it looks like a lot of us are on that. First five money line. Obviously, Sniper likes the Cubs' first inning run at plus 200. Let's transition to the next game because that game starts in 6 minutes. So we may as well get some of those bets out of the way as well. It's Reds Guardians. Somebody remind me who's on the mound in this one. Oh, we have Lodolo versus Logan Allen. Interesting pitching matchup. So let's go with the official plays, and then we'll get some opinions from Tom and Mike here. AMags, I'm going to start with you. You like Jose Ramirez. Interesting to steal a base.
Yeah, it's targeting Jose Trevino, who I know well, the Yankees catcher last year. And at one point last year, it just became evident that he could not throw anyone out. Similarly, this year, he has had a little bit of success, but I still don't think he's very good at throwing runners out. You have Jose Ramirez, who, yesterday that 1-0 loss is tough. He was one of the only guys with a hit. He kept his, I believe it's now 36-game on-base streak alive. So I think he gets on base once again. And even if it's not while Lodolo's in the game, that lefty, I think at some point here, they have to get scrappy. They know they have to get a win. And he steals a base at plus 220. I like the odds.
Okay. Can we go back, Sniper, before you give out your pick on Jose Ramirez and you have him to score a run? I think this is interesting because Big Cheesy says Kyle Schwarber over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. I see it on BetMGM. He has it at minus 130. I have it at minus 110 at BetMGM. Under is actually minus 118. That was a play.
BetMGM. On the hit run RBIs, shout out to them. They have some of the best hit run RBI prices.
There we go.
Comparatively to the other books. So yeah.
This show's sponsored by BetMGM, so that's a nice shout there. But one of you two, AMags, it was either you or Sniper that was actually on this play over the last couple of days. Would we go back to it here against Ben Brown?
All right, so I said this on the show earlier before we got on. I was watching the game yesterday, and I guess I hadn't realized how much Schwarber was slumping with his home runs of late. Last couple of weeks, 2.5, 3 weeks almost, so only 2 home runs. So a little bit tough. And then, on the Gamecast, they're talking about how he apparently was hitting in the cage early and said he felt like he was a bit lost at the plate. That certainly showed yesterday. So I think I may take a little bit of a pause here on Schwarber, but that's just from what I heard there. Maybe he's back in the cage hitting early once again and has a great game. That's kind of the spot we're in with him, though.
All right. Opening pitch, first pitch from Luzardo, ball 1. Let's go back to Jose Ramirez for this 110 game, which again starts in a few minutes. And then, by the way, we're going to get to a lot of your comments and questions too, and we're going to be live betting these games, obviously. Let's see, Sniper, Jose Ramirez again. You like him to score a run?
I went to score a run plus 100. I was piggybacking on AMags a little bit with the stolen base there. Jose Ramirez again on the just what AMags said on getting on base. Also, he has a hit, at least one hit in 31 of his last 32 games. He has been destroying left-handed pitching. I know the rest of the Guardians haven't hit it, but I was just thinking, I think he's probably going to get at least one hit, and maybe he'll walk as well. If he does that, he steals a base. He's in scoring position. I just thought, hey, let's take the plus money and run with that, and we'll team up with AMags here.
All right. Tom Casale, any thoughts on this game, Reds Guardians? Was it something you looked at?
Yeah, I like the Reds. I didn't bet it, but I leaned the Reds team total over 4.5 here. Cincinnati was a team I liked coming into the season. I bet a lot of futures on them, and the offense is starting to heat up a little bit. Obviously, they win with pitching, but I just think they have a good matchup today, and I could see them getting to 5 runs.
I'm trying to remember from the SportsLine model. AMags, maybe you remember from this morning, but wasn't Ellie De La Cruz one of the 3 home run SportsLine model value plays?
He was, and part of the reason I didn't really love it is just he hasn't been great from the right side. He's a switch hitter. So that was kind of my only thought on it, but the model had a ton of value. I mean, that is a ton of value. the plus 600 real odds versus what they're predicting is plus 380. So I cannot argue with that. They've hit 2 out of 3 yesterday. I think 2 out of 3 or 1 out of 3 the day before. They've been on a roll. So I just played each of those.
All right. Big Cheesy says, I hate to go against you guys, but I love the Phillies today. I am on an island. Hey, I'm sure there's other people that like the Phillies as well. And by the way, shout out to Ben for these graphics and just kind of managing this show, because this is really good stuff. He's got the game cast here on the screen as well. All right, Mike, talk to me about Reds Guardians. Anything you saw on this one?
The thing that stands out is just how bad Cleveland has been against left-handed pitching. They are currently the second worst offense in Major League Baseball, behind the Baltimore Orioles against left-handed pitching. And that, to me, has stood out quite a bit, because it's, now at this point in the season, it's a pretty significant sample size overall. So I think that to me is a little concerning overall. So the strikeout rate's been up a little bit. I saw a question in the chat about the fact that Reds are throwing 3 consecutive lefties. I don't think that's really by coincidence. I know you typically are kind of at the mercy of where they are in the rotation, but I personally think that was definitely intentional. You see their 25% strikeout rate for Cleveland. The team weighted on base average is just 266, literally worse than the Colorado Rockies this season against left-handed pitching. I'm not saying necessarily blindly fade them here, but I would be very cautious backing them against lefties.
Let me ask this, because obviously the game's starting right now, but you can still bet really a ton of, like, pretty much all the markets that are offered pre-flop, including like first fives and things of that nature. With Lodolo versus Logan Allen, Sniper, maybe I'm going to hand this to you first. It's the first 5 for Cincinnati is around minus 135. Some places I think minus 140. That's pretty juicy, but I'm just curious, like, this does feel like, I don't know, maybe full game, but just Reds first 5. Any thoughts there?
I was feeling stay away on that one. I don't trust either one of these offenses. They both, especially the Reds, seem boom or bust. There's a lot of games where they explode. There's a lot of games where they don't do anything at all. So I could easily see this one being 0-0 through 5. I could see it being 1-1. Hard to trust either one for me early, especially.
Yeah, AMags, any thoughts on like any sort of first 5 play? Stay away.
Reds have won 5 in a row, 6 of 7, and it's always tough to sweep a team. Now you're going to have to sweep them here at home. I just didn't. I kind of like Sniper. I didn't love having to be in that position. So Nick Lodolo, while he's been good this year, I do think he can kind of get streaky at sometimes. So we'll see what happens. Also, the numbers on Logan Allen, I think they were like significantly better at home. I got to see. Maybe not. I might be thinking of somebody else. But that's kind of stuff I look for too. Like if he's pitching at home and he's been bad on the road, then that might be, but it might not be him.
All right. I don't know who's able to watch in this crew. I assume everybody's got their eyes on the Cubs game. It does look like 2 outs, 1 on. Was it Suzuki, I think, basically barely beat out a base hit? I mean, it looks like it was a tie to the runner situations.
Somebody in the chat said Cubs.
Tucker both struck out. Luzardo, his stuff looked all right. So
yeah,
somebody in the
stuff
chat said Cubs 1 hit, over 1 hit in the first inning, minus 155. I think that they ruled that a hit, right? So that would cash that bet for whoever said that.
Oh, excellent. All right. By the way, we have Buckets in the chat. Buckets, if you could find a play for us in any of these games, there's still 2 games that start at 2:10, Braves-Brewers and Blue Jays-Cardinals. And you could even look at the games that are active right now. Maybe give us a home run prop or 2, or hits, runs, RBIs. Let's see.
Roll the dice.
Yeah. It was exactly. It was Cubs' first inning hit over a half from Brad Morris. Yeah, good job, Brad Morris. That's good stuff.
There you go.
Aaron Bailey is in here. Japan is in here. All right. Well, as we watch these games and as the Reds Guardians get underway, Pittsburgh, Miami. I forgot that we had another game that was going on.
So did everybody in the Pittsburgh area.
Yeah. So Pittsburgh up 1-0, top of the third. Mike, are you looking at that game? Is there any sort of anything to look at in Miami, Pittsburgh?
I admittedly have not followed that one at all yet. Yeah.
Fair enough. All right.
The only thing I had on that is the Pirates are right around 500 at home. The Marlins are awful. The Marlins have a terrible bullpen. If anything, you could watch the live line on this. Now, it's probably heavily in the Pirates' favor right now. It's probably heavily juiced. My only thought was if the Marlins take an early lead, maybe you could jump on the Pirates in game. And then maybe that still applies. Maybe the Marlins score a couple runs and take the lead. Then you could look at the Pirates.
Okay. I think it's a good time while we're keeping an eye on these 3 games that are going on, as looks like we've got a pop out. Yeah, a pop out. So we're 0-0 heading into the bottom of the first here. Let's transition to the Braves-Brewers game at 2:10. We've got Big Cheesy saying no run first inning in Atlanta, Milwaukee. Tom, I'm gonna start with you. Anything that you saw in that game? Any picks from you in that one?
No, I didn't make a play in this game. I thought it was a tough one.
Yeah.
The matchup seems kind of even to me. The slightest lean to the Braves, but not enough to make a play for me in that one. I went with the other game. I went with the Cardinals on the money line.
Okay, yeah, we're going to get to that. Sniper, you like the no-run first inning Atlanta, Milwaukee?
I do. Spencer Schwellenbach, the Brewers haven't seen him. I don't trust him deeper in the game, but at least in the first inning, I think that he'll probably get through the Brewers in the first inning, not easily, but without giving up a run. And then on the other side, Chad Patrick is actually pretty tough. He's a rookie. He looks very, very tough, at least through the first 5 innings. His ERA is really low, and the Braves haven't seen him before. So I have no run in the first inning. I actually was looking at Braves under through 3 innings as well. But if memory serves, when I was throwing this together, it was heavily juiced. But I think Patrick's going to hold the Braves down at least one time through the order.
Okay. AMags, any thoughts on this one?
So I played the the Matt Olson over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs from the morning show. I don't think I'm going to do anything else right now, but I will say Acuna yesterday. Was it 3 hits? I think it was 3 hits. So, he might be starting to get hot. Letting him play like indoors or in warm environments may be like starting to get very dangerous. So that ball just flies off of his bat. So I think those are the hitter props. I guess maybe a quick question. I don't know if Mike has looked at it, maybe at some point if he wants to, but just Chad Patrick, I believe when I was looking at him earlier, he throws 3 different variations of fastball, right? It's a cut fastball, a sinking fastball, and a 4-seam. Not much else. I think he does switch it up a little bit to the left-handers, if I'm remembering correctly. But just any thoughts on him and how that can kind of translate longer term?
Yeah, I think that you definitely still relatively small sample size with someone like this, but it is always worth noting. Basically throws the 4-seamer to the lefties, the sinking variety to the righties. So when you look at a guy like Matt Olson, basically you'd want and Acuna, I guess, for that point, you'd want to look at how they're profiling against that sinker more so than that 4-seam. The pitches seem pretty similar. The thing that I would point out, though, again, extremely small sample size, right? But the whiff rate on the cut fastball and the 4-seam fastball around 23-24%. The sinking fastball, though, has only been around 9% so far this year. So the fact that those guys like I said Acuna, he's not a lefty, but Matt Olson, the lefty, likely getting the sinking fastball. That's the pitch that doesn't have the high K rate. Like that for being optimistic on him and just simply putting the baseball in play.
Okay. And we have the Cincinnati-Cleveland game up on the Gamecast. And we do have a question from John. AMags, I'll start with you here. You and Sniper both have Jose Ramirez props. He says, how about Jose Ramirez 1+ RBI at +150? Any thoughts?
Sure. I like a lot on Jose right now. So, yeah, I'd be good with that.
To Mike's point, about how bad the offense is, like he might have to do it with a home run.
Yeah.
If the rest of the offense isn't showing up, right? But I mean, he's been so good. I think Big Cheesy mentioned it that he feasts on lefties. Yeah, he really, just being that switch hitter, he's been feasting on lefties, I think, year after year now. So I have no problem if you wanted to take that. A lot of the time too, when you're betting those things, like that's what the +150, you'll hear me say a lot of times, like, I'm not going to tell you not to take something that price. Like, have some fun and bet it and root for, maybe you bet the home run at that point. If you, like I said, if you think he's got to do it on his own or something, like, I think that's totally fine to bet something like that.
Well said.
Joey B says, this is not fair. Sia changed his golf shirt from yellow to blue. Odds on that? Off the board at SportsLine. I may go back to yellow for our live chat, our 4 o'clock live chat. Mike, it's going to be me and Rick. I don't know. You're knowing you're probably somewhere in front of a screen. If you ever want to dive into that show, you're obviously more than welcome. We did have I'm just going to divert just really super quick, as Philly has 1 on, nobody out, 3-1 count. Somebody asked about the first round leaders that I put out on Twitter just now and what I liked the most of the 5 I gave out. It would probably be Harris English at 75-1. That would probably be the one. But it's first round leaders. They're all like somewhat speculative, but I think English probably my favorite there. Mike, between Lowry, English, Fox, Girard, and Scott as first round leaders, which one, if you had to pick a name, I forced you to pick a name, which one of those 5?
Yeah, it would be Lowry or English.
Cool.
Yeah, English obviously has that very early morning tee time, never going to be a bad thing. So I would lean there. Lowry's right behind him. So it'd be those 2 in the real early.
More golf stuff at 4 o'clock on this SportsLine YouTube channel. So make sure everybody that you're in there as we go full count to Kyle Schwarber, who has been the subject of conversation already today. I don't know if I'm behind you guys, but I might be. Last time I was behind you guys by like 7 or 10 seconds. All right, let's see if we have other baseball questions. Let's see, home run props. Sniper, you are on this morning's show. Do you have any home runs like for any of the games tonight, even tonight?
I didn't look ahead. I only looked at the day games.
Okay.
Let me glance really fast here. You can go elsewhere while I'm looking.
Yeah, by the way, first and second, nobody out for Ben Brown. So he's already found himself a little bit of trouble here. Let's see if he can get himself out of it as he walks.
You're going to need a
Kyle
ground ball.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see what's going on in the Reds-Guardians game. Nothing. We're in the bottom of the first with 1 out. Pittsburgh still holding on to a 1-0 lead against Miami. Did we go through all the bets in Braves-Brewers? I think we did. Mike, you responded. You didn't have anything really official in this Braves-Brewers game, did you?
No, just Matt Olson would be over. I prefer the total bases over the hits, runs, RBI, but I still like both.
Gotcha. Okay. By the way, now we have second and third with nobody out in this Phillies game. So this is not looking great so far, because don't forget, we have a SportsLine pick, ground ball. They're going to send that runner home.
Yes, first inning on that instead of just isolating the Cubs. But
so your pick was on the Cubs to score, right? That plus 200. Yeah. Okay. So we got 1-0 man on second with 1 out here. Not the end of the world there, as long as we can get out of this inning. Let's move to the Blue Jays and Cardinals. Any bets here? Sniper, you like no run first inning here as well?
Yeah. Matthew Liberatore, 2.25 ERA in the first inning. The Blue Jays haven't seen him this year. Last year, he threw 3 scoreless innings against them. Blue Jays don't have that great of an offense. So then you go to the other side, Eric Lauer. It's going to be a short outing. He's only worked in relief so far. It's kind of looks like a spot start. I don't think he's going to be an opener, but it's going to be a short outing. And the Cardinals haven't seen him since 2023. It's a lefty, a little funky, like off speed, heavy. So it seems like that's kind of a 1, 2, 3 on both sides start to me.
Tom, you like the Cardinals money line in this one?
I do. Liberatore, he went 8 straight starts, allowing 2 runs or less. And then he's been hammered his last 2 outings. He's given up 12 runs. I'm just betting on a bounce back here. The Blue Jays won the first 2 games, and as the guy said, it's hard to sweep teams. I just feel like Liberatore has his stuff today, and I like them at home to get the win. Again, maybe there's something they mentioned with today. You never know if there's something wrong with somebody, right? If they're a couple innings away from an IL stint, but I don't think that's the case here. I think we get a strong effort out of him.
The one thing, Mike, I fear with the Cardinals here is that, aren't the Blue Jays really starting to come around and hit? These guys are putting some wins together. Do you have any thoughts on this game one way or the other?
Yeah, this one is a stay away for me at this point. I want to be able to back the Cardinals, but the Blue Jays, they're playing very well right now, and they crush left-handed pitching. That's where they are good. Lowest strikeout rate in Major League Baseball, extremely high walk rate. Obviously, those can be correlated and get a little noisy, but I personally I'm going to stay off of it. I'm going to try and get you my actual number here. Yeah, I'm like dead on where the Jays money line is. So it'd be a no play for me. If anything, as scary as it is, I would be leaning under.
Oh, that's interesting because I think a lot of people, and again, it might not be the sharp play. I think a lot of people look at the 8.5, which is not low, but I think a lot of people might like the over there. AMags, do you have any thoughts on the total or the side here?
I was gonna say, I think I almost like the over. So Spencer Turnbull is gonna come in after Eric Lauer. He's 6 1/3 in at AAA. He's given up 7 runs, 9 hits. What is this? 5 walks. I'm just not convinced. Like, they seem bent on having him make his debut. That's what, at least what I can find. So however long Lauer goes, I don't know exactly what Turnbull is going to bring. It almost makes me lean to the over then, just knowing, as Mike mentioned, how Toronto's been lately with the bats and against lefties. Like, that's
oh, you kidding me? Sorry. Jose Ramirez hit one off the top of the wall, but it's an RBI.
It's an RBI double.
So, all right. Man, that was close. Sorry.
Speaking of, the Phillies have taken a 2-0
I was going to say, I got
lead.
the Phillies game on, which
The Ben Brown play by Tom Casale is starting to look pretty good. He's at 19 pitches. He's got 2 outs, man on second.
Can I just say really quick
Yeah.
about that? Like, why did we change from having an opener for him? He was great behind the opener.
He did well against the Tigers without it, but
he was great behind the. I guess because the lefties, there's not these
the Reds.
lefties.
I thought when they had Drew Pomeranz open for him, I thought that's just going to be the standard operating procedure from here on out. I was surprised against the Tigers that they didn't do it, but he looked good in that one. So
I know, but
yeah.
I just
it was interesting. I thought they would stick with it.
I thought they would have too, and I think it was working out a little bit better for him, in my opinion. But it is.
We certainly have a chance to cash the Ramirez to score a run here, by the way, and to steal a base. He's on second.
Steal third, 1 out, great spot. Steal third, get there, and then you're in with a sac fly.
I came up with a nice little number here on a home run play. Ooh. I've got Mike Yastrzemski at plus 550 in Coors. He has destroyed Kyle Freeland in his career. He has obviously great numbers in Coors Field. So I'll go with Mike Yastrzemski. It's over plus 500. So there's my slight long shot of a home run play for the night.
Come on, go.
Here's another slight long shot from Wu-Tang 416. He says George Springer home run at plus 650. Anybody have any thoughts there?
I mean, it's in St. Louis, right? And gosh, I think it's really hot and humid through the Midwest today. So that works against the lefty. Yeah.
He's going. Oh, he might be out.
Oh man, 3-0 Phillies. Did he steal the base?
He's called safe.
Oh wow, that'd be amazing if you cashed that already.
And then let's get him home. Let's cash a couple.
Are they reviewing it or no, AMags?
I don't know.
Nah, he's safe.
He's safe.
Yeah.
He's safe.
All right.
Let's go. Incredible.
Let's go.
Good job. We've got a lot like Big Cheesy. Good for you. Ramirez over 1.5 total bases. We're still waiting on the run now.
The RBI play from I forget who it was in the chat had an RBI at plus 150. That cashed already.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Was that John, I think? And Big Cheesy has the total bases. We've got the stolen base already. And then now we just need the run. We just need somebody to get him home with 1 out, which is certainly reasonable. Got a full count here, I guess.
If I could intercede for a sec, is there any stomach for live betting the Cubs at some point with just a horrible first inning? There's still a lot of time for them to come back.
Interesting, Ben. Thank you. Intercede anytime you want, Ben.
Especially how much Luzardo has fallen apart the last 2 starts.
He did look okay in that first inning. The stuff looked pretty good. Just, I mean, based on my not very keen MLB eye, but I was moderately impressed. Any thoughts on that, Mike? You know, like, because you could probably grab like a plus 2.5 or maybe even a plus 3.5 right now. I'm actually looking at as opposed to the money line. Do you have any thoughts on a live play, or would it just be sit and wait, see how Luzardo is?
It's going to be sit and wait for me. I want to see just a little bit more. The thing that I'm looking at here, though, I know it's average, so we have to always consider average. Luzardo's pitch velocity is up today. He's touching almost 98 on that four-seam fastball, high 97s. The average for the season so far has been 96.5. Again, this is average numbers. You can always come out jacked in the first start in a day game versus a night game. I would watch the second inning and see if he's still touching over 97.5 on that. I would definitely not look to fade him in those spots. four-seam fastball. And then again, there's a huge difference between like last year he sat 95.2. There's a huge difference between 95.5 and 90 high 97s in a fastball. If he's touching that again, it would tell me that he's feeling pretty good.
Is there any look here at not the total in that game, but maybe a team total? Does anybody want to chime in? Like I don't know how long Ben Brown's going to last. I didn't think he looked very good. It's just one inning. It's not a big deal. But if I look at the Phillies total runs here, I'm just looking at on BetMGM for now. I mean, over 6.5 is -130. They've got 3 in the first. I don't know who would be coming in from the bullpen. Maybe you guys can help me with that. If Ben Brown only goes like 4, and again, that's just a hypothetical, but 6.5 runs at -130. How do we feel about that?
So I want to take it not for this game, just as a teaching point going forward here. Where I would personally be looking to back is when the road team essentially scores 3+ early, just because it dramatically increases the probability of getting the full complement of outs for a home team, getting that the bottom half of the ninth. That gets reflected a little later in the game, but if you can look at team totals live as the first 3 runs are happening, that's where you're likely to catch an edge on a team total on a home team. Obviously, this is the exact reverse situation.
Yeah.
So if anything, it would be looking at Phillies unders at some of that spot, but it's more beneficial looking at a home team getting the full complement of outs.
Hey, I need to check out and I'll be back. See you
Yeah.
guys.
Oh, is this the Joe Mauer phone call?
Yeah.
You're not gonna name drop like.
No, I'll let you do it for me.
All right. He's got to talk to Joe Mauer because he's a big CBS writer. So good for him. He's coming back. Curious to see what that one's going to be all about. Julio Rodriguez over 1.5 total bases from Big Cheesy. Go ahead, AMags.
So, and maybe we'll get everybody's opinion, but what's the opinion on potentially Cubs under on the total runs here because of what we kind of are seeing from Luzardo? And someone had mentioned in the chat, and I didn't see this, but I guess I'll have to look into it a little bit more, that he was tipping pitches apparently, which is much different than an injury, right? Much different than an arm injury or something bodily going on with him. That can be changed with a little bit of film study, and you're making a tweak or two with whatever you're seeing, right? So if he's done that and he's feeling good, day game coming out, he's like, I've stunk the last 2 times. It's been terrible. I've got this fixed now. I know what I was doing. No Pete Crow Armstrong. It is a little bit of a watered down lineup. So I don't know. That was just my thought, right? You could get 2 or 3 more innings out of him of zeros, and that number from 3.5, where is it going to go at that point? So.
Yeah. Tom, any thoughts on that? I mean, I'm looking at, it's actually moving the Cubs total right now. They
just got a hit, I think it looks like, right?
Oh, that's why. Okay. Right. They got 1 on with nobody out. So it's moving. The under, it was 3.5. Now it's 4.5. The under is -145. The over is +110. I mean, I guess, Tom, it's if we're on the Cubs, I know you're on the Ben Brown under, but it's probably just like Mike was saying a few minutes ago, a little too early to bail necessarily on the Cubs because, Mike did say we got to monitor how the second inning goes. But do you have any thoughts on just how you think this game is going to go, or maybe a bet to look for?
Yeah, I thought there was going to be some runs scored in this game. Like I said, I know Ben Brown's pitched well the last 2 outings. I thought he would regress a little bit to where he's been all season, and I can still see the Cubs scoring some runs here. But I read the article about the team said that they thought maybe he was tipping pitches, so maybe they fixed that. But I don't know. I don't think the Cubs are out of this game. I don't think. I think it's going to depend on what. I don't think Brown has his stuff at all, which is good for me. He did not look good in the first inning. I think it's going to depend on what he does in the second inning, because another 2-3 run inning, then you're really behind the 8 ball there. But if he can get out of that second inning, I think the Cubs are still live to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at that Phillies over. Just FYI, it's obviously still 6.5. It was -125. Now it's -130. So it's just kind of like toggling around in that range. It feels
Here
like
we go.
that. Oh, what happened?
We're going to have a good spot for the Cubs coming up.
Oh, interesting. So I am behind you. First and second.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. I want you to say it as soon as you know it. First and second, nobody out. All right. Well, this is interesting. I mean, this is now just so everybody knows, the Cubs over of 4.5 is also -130. I mean, I guess Well, nothing to do with that right now, right, Mike?
Probably not. Yeah, probably not. But I think that the Cubs definitely score here, though.
All right. The first 5, just so everybody knows, and I understand I'm just talking first 5, not game, it's plus 310. But if you want to take the plus 2.5 right now, you can at minus 120. So just throwing that out there. If you think they're going to score and Ben Brown's going to correct himself to some degree, you might, maybe you grab that plus 2.5 at minus 118. Just throwing that out there. Let me scan the chat. I actually don't know what's going on exactly in the other games right now. Let's get updates there. Pittsburgh still 1-0. Cleveland still 1-0. So did we not get the score from Ramirez there? We must not have, right?
We did not get the run
Okay.
scored. We did put the ball in the air, but it was an infield pop-up, unfortunately.
Okay.
Which I kind of can't be mad about, I guess. It tried to do what he was supposed to do.
All right. We've got some picks in the chat. Ali Lonzak says Roman Anthony is going yard tonight. Ziggy says Walker Buehler over 4.5 Ks. Favorite pitching prop of the slate. AMags, you're a Ks guy. Well, what do you think of Walker Buehler?
I really didn't have much in the way of overs value today. I think it was Schwellenbach. I was looking at, he did have a little bit of value. There was 1 or 2 others. I don't think it was Buehler, though. I'll have to look it up here.
Okay. We've got, let's see. By the way, strikeout, just a beautiful slider from Luzardo. So we got 1 out here. Let's see. Acuna 1+ hit. 1+ hit run RBI with AMags Matt Olson play. So I guess Mitchell is parlaying that. Yeah, miserable at bat there from Horner. That wasn't good. Matt Shaw is up here. Need a hit from the Cubs.
Just the way you read that, see, miserable at bat from Horner.
It was bad. 3 consecutive pitches, all out of the zone.
That was great.
Chris Kish says he tailed. It's his first baseball bet. Chris Kish is an F1, racing guy, and I think maybe a soccer guy, and probably an NFL guy as well. I think somebody in the chat was saying we should do this for NFL games as well. It's something maybe we'll look into. Those days are so frenetic. I don't know how plausible that is, but we're gonna look to do that as well. Anything we're seeing in these games, Mike? I'll go to you. That worth speculating on right now?
No, still in a holding pattern here on Luzardo.
Yeah,
nothing I'm grabbing yet. But
I will mention at least at this price for Buehler, right around even money, if you can get plus 100 or better, it does show some value. So yeah, I would be fine taking a 5th strikeout for plus 100 or better.
Ray's first 5 says Spani sports bets. Any thoughts, anybody there? We've got Littell versus that's the Walker Buehler game.
Can I just mention
7-10? Go ahead.
I was looking it up. I mean, Zach Littell has allowed so many home runs. So the Roman Anthony idea is maybe not the worst. I think they were a lot to right-handers. I'll look it up here real quick. But
Tom, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to be on HQ tonight, and I actually gave out Buehler under 15.5 outs. I don't hate the K prop. I could see him getting some strikeouts. Obviously, he's been absolutely shelled in his last 2 starts. But the thing that worries me about him going long is there's some talk about him being traded. And if he gets into some early trouble, I don't know how long they're going to keep him in there if they're talking to some teams about moving him. So I think that'll be an interesting angle tonight. But man, his last 2 games, that stat line is I had to look at it like 3-4 times to make sure I wasn't looking at the wrong numbers. I mean, he's been absolutely, but he did pitch well against Tampa earlier this season. So I could see him going over the 4.5 strikeouts. I just don't know how long into the game he's going to pitch.
Fair enough. By the way, as I look at this Toronto-St. Louis game, can somebody look up what's the yes run first inning? What's the year fee on that one? I'd love to know. Maybe somebody in the chat can help us out there too. That might be because that game we still have like 25-30 minutes before that game gets started. I'm thinking we're going to have some runs there. I at least maybe early against these pitchers. Just a thought. Let's see. Luzardo under 5.5 Ks, not going to hit, he says. Aaron Taylor, tailored winnings. Trey Turner, says Ryan, to get 2+ hits on DK is boosted. Okay, good to know. Mike, checking in, anything in any of these games right now?
Nothing for me yet.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing for me yet.
See it real quick.
Yeah.
So Lodolo just walked his second batter, threw the ball within almost the entire ball was within the zone. It was called a ball. The umpire here today, Nestor Ceja, I don't believe he's a hitter leaning umpire. I think he just missed that call. But Jose Ramirez to walk, it's at plus 300 now. I mean, I know he's obviously missing an at bat, but you still have the rest of the game to walk one time. One of the only guys that's done damage. I mean, he's got the only hit here so far, right? So he's got the hit, the RBI. I think plus 300 for walk. I threw down a little bit on it. And, if he walks, then maybe another stolen base. So I think that's like plus 300 as well.
Luzardo, did he just strike out the side after getting the first 2 on?
Yep.
Cubs are killing me.
That's not. They were swinging at everything. Like they didn't hold up at all.
They saw some runners in scoring position and they got anxious, man.
That is crazy. Luzardo at 5 Ks. Big Cheesy says over 9.5 in the Dodgers Padres game. John wants to know, Mike, do you ever actually bet the Nerfy Yerfy stuff?
Not often. If I do, it's generally yes run first inning, not no run first inning. But not often. If I do, it's generally a weather situation where I think I have an edge via the weather conditions. But yeah, not often. They're generally priced, as a market that has a pretty big hold in them.
All right. Jeff Stenberg says, I hate myself for this, but I'll tail that Ramirez walk at AMags. Love the plus 300. Checking in on the games. I guess Bailey Falter's having a good one against the Marlins. 1-0 there. We got the Phillies 3-0, obviously, and the Guardians up 1-0 on the Reds in the second.
See, I'll comment again on the yes run, no run. As far as like why we like yes run. Number one, a lot of people like to bet no run, which generally shades things that direction. But number two, it's the only inning. Someone's typing in the chat because they've listened to me for 12 years now on this. It is the only inning in the baseball game where you're guaranteed to see the 6 best hitters at the same time. Generally, it's the only inning that. Now, take it a step further on the average day in MLB, obviously not today, but on the average day in MLB, a game is starting at 6 to 7 p.m. The first inning is also the best weather conditions of the baseball game, coupled with the 6 best hitters guaranteed to see the plate at that time. That is generally why we're going to have a little more value on yes than no.
Any thoughts on that Blue Jays game? Yerfy minus 110.
I don't dislike it, even though I still have a slight edge on the under in the game. But yeah, I want to hear what Tom has to say here, though.
Tom, any thoughts?
No, I actually have a question for you, Mike, because you said something that kind of caught my attention. I don't really bet the no-run first innings, but you mentioned how, people like to bet no, right? And, like say like Josh Allen rushing yards in the playoffs. I mean, you can bet over, but you're not getting a good number, right? They got that thing up 12 yards higher than it should be. So when you bet these, is that the main thing you're looking for, is looking for the value that goes too much one way?
Yes, generally the value going too much one way, or just like weather conditions that really aren't being accounted for is where I'm at. But having said all of that, it's more of a, you're not going to make a lot of money just isolating and every 3 months finding a spot that you really like. You probably need to be betting them consistently and with volume to really see anything meaningful, because there are situations where I do like the under, and I think that there could be value on the under, but that's also generally going to be correlated with a just extreme weather conditions. Think Wrigley day game, wind blowing in, those situations that just become more difficult for a book to price.
It looks like Ben Brown is settling down at least a little bit, as he's got 1 out, 0-2 count. Granted, it's to the bottom of the order here, but 2 outs now.
I will at least give him a quick shout out here. Jose Trevino finally threw a runner out. He threw out Nolan Jones trying to steal right there, but Nolan Jones has in 4 years less than 30 stolen bases, and that's with a 20 stolen base season. He has 8 combined between last year and this year. So that just shows you anybody is trying to steal.
Yeah. Scouting report is, I don't care who you are, just run.
Yeah.
That is funny. Let me see if I have any questions in the chat. Big Cheesy dropping more knowledge in here, more picks. Kerry Carpenter over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, -130. Let's see. Did someone already mention the Trey Turner flash boost? Yes, somebody did already mention that. Jen M said, this is interesting. I honestly, I don't even think I've seen this bet. I've seen a couple people out there that focus on no run second inning. So, Mike, right back to you. I mean, that kind of makes sense. I mean, I don't know what the odds would be and how they'd reflect the fact that the top of the order is probably not going to be there in the second inning. But have you seen that bet? And does that bet make sense to you depending on the price?
Yeah, I mean, it's always going to depend on the price. But yeah, generally, I think you're better. You're less likely to see scoring in the second inning. Now, I think that again, it depends on the price. So there. Yeah, I think there are opportunities there. It's always a dynamic situation though, because not all situations are created equally in terms of who's coming up and different lineups, different orders. But yeah, you're less likely to see runs in the second inning.
I got a question here. Tom Casale, I'm going to go to you on this one. Big Cheesy says that he loves Ohtani. By the way, this Dodgers-Padres game is a day game. We're just not going to be on for it. It's at 4:10. Vasquez on the mound, and Big Cheesy says he loves Ohtani over 1.5 total bases at -120. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad price for him at the -120. You always have a shot. I actually like the Padres a little bit today, but I'm a Padres guy. I like the team. I know the Dodgers will probably win that division. I think the Padres do get in the postseason though, and I think they're an interesting team. But yeah, at that number, sure, I would take a shot with that.
We got the Sniper back, and before Sniper, I go back to you, ask you some Mauer questions. We do have second and third for the Marlins. Are we just because it's Miami in Pittsburgh, we're just not going to look at that game? Obviously, it started before the show started, but second and third, 2 outs. Honestly, it'll probably end 1-0 here in terms of the top of the fifth is my guess. But anything whatsoever? I mean, if the answer is no, I mean, hand up. Does anybody want to look at anything in that game, or are we really just focused on the 2 games coming up and the other 2 games going on right now?
Yeah. I think it's a good opportunity. As I mentioned earlier, if the Marlins can score 2 runs here and take the lead, it's a good opportunity to jump on the Pirates because they're actually not that bad of a team at home, and the Marlins don't have a reliable bullpen. So if you see the Marlins take the lead, that might be a good chance. Then again, everybody else might be thinking that anyway, if anybody's paying attention to the game. So maybe the number won't be that great. But my thought is if the Marlins score, it's a good chance for the Pirates to get a comeback win.
All right. BJRM78 saying -120 is a great price for Ohtani. It's -170 in most places. Big Cheesy, if you can tell us what book you found the -120. I haven't really looked to see what books are offering for that particular prop, but yeah, -120 definitely seemed like it was a solid number, just like Tom said. So Ben Brown got out of the third, or I should say the bottom of the second, pretty easily. And now we're at the top of the order, I believe, for the Cubs. So if they're going to do any damage, it's going to be they're going to shake up Luzardo. It's going to be right now. But they certainly just gave up a huge opportunity last inning as well. Sniper Joe Mauer, how did that go?
It was great. First time I ever spoken with him, but holy cow, Minnesota nice. Yes, he was overly nice. So anything you've heard about Minnesota nice, yes.
Are you right? Yeah, because he's from there too and got drafted there. I'm remembering now. Are you writing an article? Are we going to see an article about this interview on CBSSports.com?
Yes, I was talking to him about the automatic balls and strikes system in terms of framing as a lost art, or if it is going to move toward being a lost art, and what he thinks about framing nowadays. And then, of course, from the hitter's perspective as well, which he laughed about that. When I was like, did you wish that you had it as a hitter? And he went, of course. And he talked about how good of a grasp he had of the strike zone, he thought. So he's like, yeah, man, I would have loved to have challenged strikes when I was a hitter.
Fair enough. All right. Looking at the Marlins, bases loaded, 1-0 count with 2 outs here for Miami. Did we just get another strikeout for Luzardo? Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Or was that not a strikeout? Was that just strike 2? No, that was a strikeout. Wow. Okay.
To Sniper's point, though, you got bases loaded here for the Marlins.
Yeah.
They may score a couple.
There was a question in the chat on home runs in the Angels-A's game, and the short answer is yes. Kyle Hendricks, when he's getting hit, is very home run prone. JP Sears on the mound for the A's is getting mauled by home runs recently. So if you want to look there, that would be a good one. I'm pulling up some Angels home players right now just to see. But if you like anybody in that one, I would say that there's probably going to be multiple home runs in that game.
Okay. Yeah. Good look. Good question. LAA Angels Taylor Ward says Properaki.
Yeah. I mean, that would be good. I mean, JP Sears is the lefty. So any of the righties, I mean, Trout's probably, not that much on the plus money side, or Soler. Oh, buckets, this guy, Jorge Soler, Logan O'Hoppe, Joe Adell, maybe a look at one of those two guys.
Okay. Neto goes yard, says Aaron Taylor, tailored winnings. O'Hoppe has 2 on him already. Yeah, so the Marlins didn't get a run. It's still 1-0 now going to the bottom of the 5th. And Luzardo might chalk up his, 7th strikeout? We got a 2-2 count. I might be a few seconds behind on Tucker here. And Tucker just delivered a pop out. Yeah, this Luzardo's just cruising at this point. This is cruise control as far as I can tell. Let's see. I'm going to go, just so everybody knows, it's going to be a small play because I actually don't bet these plays a lot. I'm going yes run first inning, Toronto St. Louis. It's a very small, we're just speculative play by me. That's what I'm doing. Tom, anything you're looking at right now, remind us whether there's something coming up in the 2:10 game or to the 2:15 game that you like, or anything going on right now that you got your eye on.
Yeah, well, I have the Cardinals coming up here in that game, and I'll say I think the interesting thing about you mentioned this Cubs Phillies game is that the top of the order hit Brown pretty hard, so he's going to be facing them again this upcoming inning. So I think that inning is going to be the inning that decides where this game goes. If he does a better job the second time around, or if they continue to hit him hard.
Interesting point. With that in mind, I kind of want to take a second look at where that team total is now for the Phillies. And obviously you have the Ben Brown play on him getting out. So I think, we're still kind of hoping the Cubs play comes in, but we could be looking at a troubling inning for Ben Brown coming up here. All right, let's see what else. Sprinkle a little yes run. I don't know what that is, Big Cheesy. Yes, a run. In the bottom of the 3rd for Philly. Okay, my bad. Interesting. Under half a run in the 3rd inning for the Cubs, says Michael Mokrai. Anybody looking at anything right now?
Oh, the Rockies to lose in the run line. Yeah, sure. That'd be a good play. Yeah, especially since it was close last night and then they blew it. You feel like there's a hangover effect after you blew it late when you're that bad of a team. So
that was one of our SportsLine picks too. Actually, if you watched, the early edge picks, I should say. If you watched the early edge this morning at 10, that was one of the SportsLine picks. There was the run line, I believe, at like -132. So we had that going. Mike McClure, anything you're checking in on?
Just watching Luzardo. Everything is swing and miss too. It looks fantastic.
All right. And Tom, I know you have to go, right? So thanks for joining us, man. Any closing thoughts here?
No, again, I always get smarter on this. My son is taking his first final in high school. The odds of him getting a higher grade on his first final than I did on any final, sitting around -5,000 right now. So, but I gotta go get him. But no, I love being on these shows, listening to all the banter, and I'm always smarter by the end of it. So thanks a lot, guys. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks, Tom.
Good to see you.
Sniper,
I will say someone really quick, Sia. Someone once gave me a great compliment, said I was like the Tom Casale of MLB. So I don't know.
That is a huge compliment.
That made me feel really good, man. So one of my best compliments I ever got in the chat.
Well, Casale is just like warming up. We're 86 days away from NFL season, which means we're probably high 70s from college football season. And that's, which means we're close to college basketball season. And if you're not a SportsLine member and following Tom's picks throughout those 2 seasons, you're missing out because he is super, super talented. Cleveland's got a man on, nobody out, 0-2 count. Oh, that was Jen. Jen is the one that gave you that compliment, AMags, and she's in the chat.
Jen, thank you. There you go.
Yeah.
She's here. Look at that.
Jen's great. Jen's all over the SportsLine Discord too. Really happy for so many of you are sort of new to the brand, and so many of you are very much been a part of the brand for a really long time, and we appreciate both sets of people. But the ones that have been here for so long, it's obviously always great to kind of see your name, see your faces in here. All right. Well, what's the state of the union for the Cubs here, Sniper?
I'm just annoyed right now as a fan.
Yeah.
But look, the offense, there's so much firepower there. They've been really good against lefties all year. If Luzardo tires a little bit, plus the Phillies bullpen's awful. So if it stays within 3 into the 5th or 6th, that might be a good time to jump on the Cubs because the Phillies bullpen is just really thin. And it's a fly out. Okay. Yeah, the Phillies bullpen's thin and not that great anyway. So, and 4. That's Schwarber.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Schwarber just hit a home run.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
So someone in the chat was asking about that.
Oh, why couldn't you do that yesterday for AMags?
Oh, man. Credit to, I don't know if it was Big Cheesy. I think it was, who was saying, take the over. I think I was on his total bases. Yeah. Yeah. AMags, your response.
He doesn't have one.
I'm speechless. I'm literally speechless.
He crushed that ball.
That was
too.
pretty well destroyed. That was to the concourse.
Well, it looks like Tom's bet's probably, I don't want to say it's probably going to come in, but it's looking pretty good. And honestly, I'm starting to regret not taking the, I was just about to take it before the Phillies were at bat. And I was thinking to myself as I was doing the show, I was like, what am I forgetting to do? Because I knew that total runs had probably been adjusted and I was going to take the Phillies total runs over, but here we are.
The funny thing about this is a more just normal baseball take, not necessarily a gambling take. But I thought earlier, given what AMags said about how the broadcast described Schwarber saying he felt lost at the plate right now, and he had some really bad at-bats last night, and that was a night game. This is a day game with a quick turnaround. If Bryce Harper wasn't hurt, I bet they would have sat him today. Just like, hey, he needs a day, let him take a day. But without Bryce Harper, that lefty against a righty, like, it feels like there's too much of a void in the middle of the offense, and we can't afford to sit Schwarber. So then he comes back and he hits a bomb today. It's just one of those funny dynamics that happens in everyday sport like baseball that you don't really think about in other sports.
Yeah. Somebody was asking me, and I have not been good with my first fives. I don't put a lot out, but I certainly haven't been good yet this season. Somebody was asking me if I liked a first 5 for tonight's games. Honestly, I don't know that I do. I'm kind of like looking at it now. To be honest, the one I liked, and I think, AMags, you might have me off of this because you mentioned, I think, Spencer Turnbull coming in for Lauer after a couple innings that he pitches or whatever it is. That scares me because I kind of think Toronto is the play in that game. I don't have a first 5, but I think a Toronto like team total and maybe even a Cardinals team total might be a solid play. And boy, did we just get another home run? Is it 5-0? I mean, this is like a complete blowout. One of our SportsLine picks is pretty much dead. Unfortunately, I think we had Cubs full game money line 5-0.
That's not dead. That is not dead with this Phillies bullpen. And after Luzardo's 2 meltdowns, it's not dead. It's early.
Did anybody take the team total over 6.5? Because that one's looking pretty good. Mike,
I wanted to look at the St. Louis, just the weather, just to check because I assumed first pitch it's going to be 88 degrees with high humidity. Judging by it being Liberatore against Lauer, yeah, man, that over might be up around 9.5 though. I didn't look. Is the total high?
It's 8.5. Like
8.5?
it's not high enough in my opinion.
I know I took no run first inning in that, but I feel like there could be an explosion on both sides at some point. And then
parlay the no run first inning with the over for the game.
You still could. Sometimes it takes a second. Yeah.
That would give you some nice little bumped up odds for sure.
Well, I'll say this: Big Cheesy's been hitting most of his bets that he's putting in here.
Ramirez got hit by the pitch.
Oh,
We could have had
man.
our walk.
That
That
sucks.
Castellanos ball might be a home run. They're
Yeah.
surely reviewing that. It hit
Yeah.
off like the fencing right to the right of where the yellow
Yeah.
line was.
But what I was going to say is Big Cheesy likes the Toronto team total over. So, he's been hot so far in this
Yeah.
show. So, I might go ahead and take that now as well. That game starts in 15 minutes.
Liberatore has been bad the last, off the top of my head, the last 2 or 3 starts.
And the thing is doesn't that coincide with, as I look at this home run or whatever it's going to be called, what happens if it hits the top of the fencing like that? It came back. That's not a home run.
Every park has different ground rules.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I feel like that should be a home run because the yellow line stops and then it's right over. Man,
They
look
called
at
it.
that. Why wouldn't they have the yellow line like going down or going across?
They
It
called
looked
it
like
a
it hit
triple.
off the top of the yellow.
But it was to the right to where the yellow line stopped.
Yeah, it's weird they have that one strip right there. That's so bizarre.
Yeah. It just stopped and it was right to the right where the line stopped. I think it should be a home run. It feels like it.
The
Wow.
Toronto team total 3.5 is minus 145.
Yeah, they didn't call that a home run. That's
So, wait, hold on, Sniper.
Yeah.
You had Ramirez run, and Carlos Santana just hit a grand slam. So there's your
nice.
run.
All right.
There you
Another
go.
nice.
All right.
Oh,
Good
bad.
job.
Hit that graphic, Ben. There you go.
Yeah, we're all getting like all down on the Cubs. Like a lot of the other plays are coming in. I'm very impressed. Over 3.5 Toronto team totals minus 145. Over 4.5 is plus 120. I'm gonna go around the horn. If you were to like, which one do you prefer there, Mike?
Say them again.
Over 3.5 for Toronto's team total is minus 145. Over 4.5 plus 120.
3.5 at the minus 145.
Yeah, Sniper.
4.5 plus.
Mm-hmm. AMags.
I think 3.5, but I don't know.
You're not into the play.
Hey, Pirates hit a 3-run bomb. Darn. Too bad the Marlins never took the lead. Yeah, I'm guessing the price was never good there, but that's over now.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. Michael said his option, and I think this on some books was walk/hit by pitch. So he actually cashed on Ramirez.
Wow, that is so beautiful.
I've never seen that one before. I haven't looked that deep enough for that. Interesting.
I think if you're doing like plate appearance stuff, it might be like that.
Yeah, that would have been a good one back in the Anthony Rizzo prime days when he drew a lot of walks, but he also hung over the top of the plate and got hit a lot. That would have been a great option.
Do we have any thoughts somebody was asking about the Tigers-Orioles game with Casey Mize and Zach Eflin on the mound. Does anybody have any thoughts in that game?
Tigers-Orioles.
Hey, Max, what do you?
That walk/hit by pitch on MGM above my head here was plus 1,100. So look at that.
Damn.
What?
Beautiful.
Congrats, Michael. Great hit.
That is amazing. Wow. Cleveland 5-0 after that grand slam. Okay. These are relative blowouts, all 3 games right now, which doesn't really matter, but we've got first and third for the Phillies with 1 out. Like Ben Brown's day is going to end relatively soon. I got to
have to hit that cash graphic again once that
man.
happens for Tom Casale.
Yeah, exactly. Brian Tonsoni says Tigers money line. Does anybody have a take their Tigers are plus basically in that plus 105, plus 110 area?
That's where I would lean. I made it a little closer to even money.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, I would lean Tigers at plus 110.
Yeah, same. I think I had mentioned it in the Discord. I got to look, but it was minus 140 on the series price for them over the Orioles. And you're getting Scooble tomorrow.
The Orioles are actually playing well, but you know, the 3 of those games with the White Sox at Seattle, the Mariners are broken right now, and then they lost 2 of 3. They lost yesterday. I mean, Mize's numbers are worse on the road, but they're not bad on the road. Yeah, I would go with the Tigers at plus money. Getting the Tigers at plus money right now anywhere seems great.
I don't hate the Tigers' first 5 run line, plus half a run, minus 118, minus 120. Just the idea of cashing the Tide game is pretty appealing there.
I love getting that plus a half if you don't have to pay prohibitive juice, and that is like that's a good spot for that. Just so everybody knows, I did take that yes run first inning, and I did take Toronto over 3.5 runs at the expensive minus 145.
That reminds me, I need to change the channel.
Big Cheesy Julio Rodriguez over 1.5 total bases. Casey Mize under 16.5 outs from Boogie 4114. Anybody have any thoughts on that? Under 16.5 outs.
Mize, I don't know. I mean, the Orioles do hit righties better than lefties. He's right-handed. They're at home. That feels just about right. That's tough.
Yeah, I think it's close.
Yeah. I would probably just stay away on that personally.
Okay.
Before this next one starts, I was going to say Vlad Guerrero Jr. total bases over 1.5 plus 100 on MGM.
It does seem like we're all loading up on offense in that Jays Cardinals game. Then.
Yeah, it really does. I really feel like the 8.5 is just a touch too low. I mean, they're not going to make it 9.5. So, I mean, I understand the price, but I would think the 8.5 would be juiced more than what I'm looking at, which is in that minus 113, 115 area.
Yeah, that almost gets worrisome at that point. Like,
right.
What are we missing?
Well, that's what happened to me yesterday in my first
like,
5
wait a minute,
with the Rays. Like, even though it was 2-1, but like I was kind of counting on Giolito continuing to not be sharp, and he was pretty sharp, even though we could have won that in the 5th inning or at least tied it, but didn't work out. And that's the same thing with Luzardo, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was runs in that game, that Boston game.
I was looking at Mariners Diamondbacks, a day game in Arizona. A lot of the time you're going to see the ball flying.
Mm-hmm.
Eduardo Rodriguez, not very good so far this year. The Mariners offense is just so hard to trust, but I mean, other than Cal Raleigh, but you know, if you like any Mariners there, that wouldn't hurt. And Brian Wu has been getting hit a little bit his last couple times. Diamondbacks at home is never a bad play. As I mentioned yesterday, although I said the wrong guys on the home runs, they got home runs from Gurriel and Moreno, and I said maybe Eugenio Suarez. But if you want to look at some offense in that game, I think that there could be a path to winnings there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Any updates on any of these games that we need to take a look at here, gentlemen?
Braves are about to start, so that'll be a good one because we get the top of the inning.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't. This is probably me being a fan. I still don't think playing the Cubs live right now is bad.
Yeah, I hear you.
Getting to see Luzardo a second or even third time, and then a bad Phillies bullpen with as explosive as the Cubs offense can be, they put up crooked numbers a lot.
So what do you think about, so you can get the Cubs plus 3.5 at minus 102, like basically even money at plus 3.5.
I would definitely do that. Yes. The Phillies are going to have to sweat.
I mean, I think that's an interesting look there. I'm just curious because this is one thing I never really know, and I don't know that there's a full answer to the question, but I mean, Ben Brown, he might last another couple innings. I'm not sure, but like, who are we looking at as a long reliever if he doesn't? Like, where are we at with that?
Almost anybody in the Cubs bullpen, actually, as bad as it was to start the year, and we talked about it several times, the Cubs bullpen's awful. It's awful. It's awful. It's been one of the best bullpens in baseball for the past 6 weeks or so.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, let's see. Keller went each of the last 2 nights, so it can't be him. There might be some Pomeranz. I don't think anybody's going to go long. Thielbar went last night. Flexen went last night. I think I bet you Counsell just pieces it together with 1 inning at a time from a bunch of different guys like Genesis Cabrera, maybe Thielbar in there. Presley hasn't been bad for a while. Palencia.
Look at that.
Yeah. The SportsLine home run model. It has been so hot.
Nice.
And what was that, like plus 600 or something? I'm trying to
He's
remember.
been bad too against lefties, man. So he's under 200 against lefties.
This SportsLine home run model, like I'll be honest, I don't make these bets, but I know other people do. And that was plus 380 is where SportsLine had it. And the model is plus 600. And I got to say it again, as of 2 days ago, or I should say as of Monday. Yeah. So 2 days ago, they were up. The SportsLine home run model was up for the plays they're putting out, which I guess is the top 3 plays, 62 units. Or no, excuse me, 32 units in the last 60 days. And then we hit 2 out of 3 home runs, and then we've hit the Ellie De La Cruz one already since that time. I mean, this is like kind of incredible.
I think they're up over 40 units now with that one because they
Yeah, it
were
has
at
to be.
36.
Yep.
Crazy.
That is really, really crazy. That is really good
Outstanding.
stuff.
So there was a question in the chat that said, who's a team that's not in first place that you could see winning the division? It's interesting right now. There's a good argument that all the division winners are going to hold. But I would look at, I know it's 5 games heading into today, but the Phillies are very inconsistent, but the Mets, I think I could definitely see the Phillies overtaking the Mets, even though it's 5 games heading into today. It's interesting. The only one that's actually really close right now is the West, but I still think we're all probably going to say the Dodgers are going to win that division with the Giants a half game out, Padres 1 game out. I'm sure that someone could make an argument for the Cardinals or even Brewers in the NL Central. Yankees aren't going to lose it. Tigers have such a big lead. I don't trust anybody in the West at all anymore. But wow, there's 3 teams within 4.5 games of the Astros there. Anybody else non-division leader?
Would love to see the Rangers win that division.
I've given up on them. I'm out. I was so hardcore on them to start the season, but
I really,
the offense has been just so inconsistent, and the pitching, as good as the pitching has been right now, it just doesn't feel like that can hold up.
So in that division, there's only 2 teams with a positive run differential, though.
Yep.
The Rangers are one of them. So see what happens. I think, might be a little bit of a positive regression for us there.
I'm stunned that they have a positive run differential.
Well,
I mean,
Minnesota,
the Mariners are minus 11. Like, they're close to even, but still, it is negative. The Rangers are plus 14.
14. Okay, so they were over before last night then.
The NL Central is crazy.
Yeah, what they scored 13 yesterday.
Every team except for Pittsburgh has a positive run differential, and the Reds are plus 42. They're 35 and 33, but
wow.
You know what that goes back to? Was it 4 games in a row they lost 1-0 early in the season?
Yeah.
3 in a row they lost 1-0.
Yeah.
And so that's where if they're over 500 and they had 3 at 1-0 losses, that's where, yeah.
And you know what? Shout out to the Rockies. They're at minus 199 for the run difference.
For what?
Jesus.
Yep.
Well, they swept the Marlins last week too. So shout out for that.
Wow, Luzardo is like, honestly, what are we? We're in the 4th inning. I'd love to know what his record strikeout number is. His career strikeout number is.
That won't take me long.
This year?
Career.
I'm just curious because I mean he's mowing these guys down, and I don't.
GPT.
Doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon. I mean, he's at the top of the order here, near the top of the order, and he's still mowing them down. He's only through how many pitches does he have? It's the top of the 4th. He's at 62. I mean,
I know he's had at least 11 this season. He had 10 back-to-back games against the A's and Rockies. He had 11.
His career high is 13
earlier. Yeah.
July 23rd, 2023. He struck out 13. It was the Rockies on the road Rockies. That home shouldn't even count. But yeah, it's 13, 12, and 12 are his 3 highest.
Gotcha. I mean, not out of the question.
Hey, good on you if you had the stones to play him in fantasy. I didn't. I sat him, but
that'd be tough after those last 2 games where it can just ruin your entire week.
Yeah.
Go back to the well.
Oh yeah, I mean the way that we play a bat, that is hilarious. That sniper's photo, because I this morning I saw Jeff Stenberg commenting.
I saw he took my headshot from CBS.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
I didn't want to say anything, but yeah, I saw
that. Is amazing.
Wow.
Oh, that is.
I totally lost my train of thought. I saw that. That was
yeah, that's from my author page at CBS Sports. So,
that is amazing. So the Braves-Brewers game is just getting underway now. We're 2 minutes away from Blue Jays Cardinals. Again, no run first inning was Sniper's bet. If you want to try to get that in.
Although I'm kind of regretting the Cardinals Blue Jays as much as we all like offense.
And then we'll see. I did Vlad total bases over 1.5.
I sprinkled in that Blue Jays Cardinals game the over 8.5 as well. So I've got the yes run first inning, the over 8.5, and the team total over 4.5. As finally the Cubs produce a hit. They got a double with 1 out, 1 on here. Yeah, Braves Brewers. Did we have an opinion on a side in that one? Did we really give out an opinion on that?
I would lean Brewers on it. I don't remember exactly what the line was, but
I mean,
it wasn't where I was ready to play either
It was
side.
kind of juicy.
yeah, I mean the Braves are huge favorites.
Yeah.
I love that we're celebrating a Cubs hit like it hasn't happened. It's literally their 4th hit in 3 and a third innings. Like they're
Is it really?
they've had base
I could have
runners.
sworn they were being shut
Say
out.
an infield hit in the first inning, and then there were 2 in the second inning, right?
Yep. And
I
then
saw
just a
Justin
double
Turner.
here.
It's so hard because like every time I'm looking to my left, they're striking out. So I just like the hits. They're not even registering to me.
Mhm.
But you're right. I mean,
That's why there's hope. I mean, they're a team that can string hits together.
yeah.
And
You know,
eventually
one team's got no runs with 4 hits. The other team's got 4 runs with 5 hits.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see what happens here. 0-2 to Justin Turner. I'm very excited about this Blue Jays Cardinals game all of a sudden at 2:10. Justin Turner it was a sharply hit opposite field. Now we got 2 outs with a runner on third.
Another thing, since I say Turner batting, that I thought of on the Cubs to come back if once Luzardo leaves the game is the Cubs have Michael Busch and Pete Crow Armstrong as lefties on the bench that they can insert, and that gives them a little extra firepower in the lineup. But I also might be just playing with some copium right here with the Cubs losing 4-0.
Copium. Checking in on the Pirates and Marlins, 4-1 there. Guardians still up 5-1. Somebody was saying the Reds money line is plus 900. If you want to speculate there, plus 4.5 is minus 150 for the Reds. If that juice was lower, that would be interesting to me.
We're gonna get Matt Olson up. Austin Riley just got a hit.
And do we have a play on? You have a play on Matt Olson, right? Is it hits,
Yeah.
runs, RBIs?
Yeah, over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs.
All right, so let's get a home run here and call it a day.
That would be
Good
perfect.
spot for him right here.
That would be perfect.
By the way, I there's so many people that were on the Ellie home run, clearly by what I'm looking at in the chat. So good stuff.
Celebration.
Oh, what do we have here? We have a run for the
Cubbies.
Cubs. That's good. Okay. Not all is lost.
First pitch, he lined out to left field. Olson.
Yep.
Oh, that's too bad.
Double for Nico, made up for his last at bat.
See, here they come. Here they come.
So just so everybody knows, now that plus 3.5, which is obviously gone, I just wanted, it's probably just going to adjust to plus 2.5. I'm just curious what the juice is. As Blue Jays Cardinals are getting underway. Does anybody have that on their screen right now? I'm just curious. Or will they have it?
I do.
All right, you're gonna have to update us because I don't have that on my screen right now. What other questions do we have in the chat? Let's see.
All right, Braves-Brewers. I had no run first in the Braves-Brewers, so I just need 3 Brewers outs.
I think you had no run in these next 2, right?
Yes.
The Brewers, then the other one.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
hopefully Vladdy,
I didn't even
double in the first inning, and then just they leave him there.
Sniper, I didn't even realize I was betting against you in that Blue Jays Cardinals game. I honestly, I wasn't paying attention, but
it's going to happen. We're throwing a bunch of stuff out. It's going to happen.
Brian Tonsoni says we need a SportsLine trip to Wrigley like you all are doing in New York. Let's see, Murphy's Bleacher Bar before the game. That's an interesting idea. Listen, depending on how New York goes, and I don't know, do we have a graphic, Ben, for the New York meetup? We probably do. Some new people in here might not know what that is, but I believe it's July 9th as the Phillies get out of the inning here, 4-1. I believe it's July 9th, and a bunch of the SportsLine people will be there, hopefully including all of us that are on the show right now. But yeah, for the first, I think 75 that register, you can use that QR code. You get free merch. But yeah, it's the Mariners at Yankees, July 9th at 7:05. You purchase tickets via that QR code right there. So again, that one at Yankee Stadium, Mariners Yankees, July 9th. If it goes well, maybe we'll do another city. Like it's actually a pretty good thought to do it at Wrigley Field. That would be incredibly fun.
I would join the Chicago one.
Yeah, that would be great.
3.5 hour drive for me.
How long is it?
3.5 or so.
Okay, not bad. All right, where are we at in these games that just got underway here?
Braves no score in the top, so we're looking for Brewers not to score in the bottom half, and still the first batter in Blue Jays Cardinals.
Okay, so you
behind
strikeout on the show.
Strikeout.
So you're through a half an inning. That's good. On the Atlanta Milwaukee one.
Yep.
Okay. Farzad says, need that edge gear. Yeah, I can't remember what they said about. We can, Mike, you might have brought it up. Like, we can get that early edge gear. Like,
All right,
like
there's
it's
Guerrero.
available for purchase, I guess, is
Yes, there is a Paramount shop. You can find that. It's literally paramountshop.com, but you can just search early edge merch. Google search will definitely bring it up.
all right. Jeffrey Birchman says, come to Camden Yards for a meetup.
There's a Vlad Jr. hit. Didn't AMags? You said something about Vlad.
Yeah, so that's one total base. We need one more now. So we'll need another hit from him.
Nice.
We need to do like an early edge tour around different baseball parks.
Yeah, that would
If
be
we
fun.
got big enough, that'd be amazing.
We got to get enough people to the first one. We got to show out for the first one.
That's true.
100%.
All right, let's see. I'm looking for Phillies lead off the inning with a base hit. Let's see.
Matt, what's going on? Good to see you, Matt.
Yeah, Matt is in here. Matt, big Commanders fan.
Go.
First time, long time.
All right, let's see. What do we got going on? We've got
Matt, I'm going to Wrigley for the first time Tuesday. So pumped. Yeah, absolutely. It's great. I'm always a big fan of the aesthetics of a ballpark and just walking in and see what you've always seen on TV, just seeing it with your own eyes. I love doing that. So kudos to you.
Taylor DeHart says, come to Coors to watch the Rockies suck it up. Well, it wouldn't be hard to get tickets.
Coors is great too. It's really great. A great area around it. It's Lodo is what they call it for lower downtown and the area around it. Coors is outstanding. It's toward the top of my list.
Rockies might pay us to show up, to be honest.
Yeah, that too. You'd be able to get in a good spot.
Keeping an eye on Atlanta, Milwaukee. Looks like we have a runner on third here. 1 out, 0-2 count. So we need to avoid him getting across the plate. Toronto, St. Louis still 2-2, 1 out, 1 on, top of the first. Oh, wow. That was a terrible bunt by Rojas there. All right. Nothing like Oracle, says Big Cheesy.
Oh, you got a sweat in the Brewers game. Trio triples.
1 out. So
next pitch.
Oh, sac fly.
Out at home.
No way.
Yep.
What was
Fielder's
this?
choice
I only
out.
saw him walking off. He didn't score here?
That's incredible.
So there was already 1 out. So if it's a sac fly thrown out at home, that's the end of the inning.
It's showing.
Well, I just saw him walking off. I figured he scored.
Oh no, fielder's choice. So the runner's on first. So it wasn't a sac.
Yeah. No. He was walking off because he was out.
Hey, that still puts us in great position for the
that
no
is
because
excellent.
now 2 outs in a row.
Oh, you're huge. Yeah. 2 out.
That's huge for the no run.
Yeah.
Gigantic.
Wow.
Have
That's
the button
like
ready, Ben.
When you fade a pitcher, you take them like under 15 and a half outs and they come out for the 6th inning, but they don't get any outs. They blow up. That's like what happens there. You got the batter to third. There's less than 2 outs, and then they're thrown out at home.
Jen M says, totally appropriate that M squared is about 30 seconds ahead of the rest of the world. That is really appropriate, actually. It's all making sense now. Keeping an eye on Toronto, St. Louis, 2 outs now, 2-0 count. Obviously, Atlanta, Milwaukee, 2-0 count, 2 out, 1 on as the Phillies. Oh, no. Cubs drop the ball. Oh, man.
All right, Braves-Brewers, no run first inning, cash.
There you go. All right. And St. Louis is out of the inning, too. Good job, Sniper. And honestly, I might lose it, but Toronto, St. Louis, you might cash that in about 5 minutes as well. You don't want to see what just happened to your Chicago Cubs, though.
Oh, I'm watching. I'm trying to be a professional here. Professional, whatever. But yeah, no,
That was terrible.
Tuck has had a few gaffes in right field. There was a Danny Palencia's first blown save once he became the closer. There was a ball to right field that I thought Tucker could have caught that he kind of misplayed, like not necessarily that extent, but he's had some issues this year and he's a former Gold Glover. But yeah, some concern out there in right now.
All right. Miami put a run on the board. It's 4-2 in Pittsburgh. Cleveland up 7-1, as everybody is acknowledging in the chat. St. Louis about to be batting in the bottom of the first to see if we can get Snyder going 2-0 here on the no-run first inning. As this could get away from the Cubs pretty quick if Schwarber gets a hit here. Just one out. God, that ball he hit in his last at bat was
pretty vintage Schwarber, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it's going to made a lot of money this year betting players that I, bet on. Just bet them the next day. I think you could have made a lot.
So that happens in golf betting too. Like I'll take a round matchup and I'll lose it, and then the next day, not only will that have won against the same exact matchup, but the guy wins by like 5 or 6 strokes. Like it's not even close. So, I mean, that does lend itself to the idea of, if you like a guy, I mean, obviously with baseball, it's a little different because of like the nuances of the matchup and whatnot. But if you think a guy's in good form, or you like the matchup even nearly as much, maybe you just go right back to it.
I was going to show producer Ben. I got the Schwarber IU bobblehead here handy.
That's amazing.
Fantastic.
That's so good.
Look like him, but I like how he's standing on the IU logo. So.
Oh, that's a great bobblehead.
Yeah, that
awesome. Is great. I'll tell you what, let's go through. We'll stop once the end of the first inning in Toronto, St. Louis goes. So we can find out if we're
out there for the Cubs.
Say it again.
Huge. Big Schwarber strikeout for the Cubs. They're trying to get this into a game.
Oh, there it is. Okay, now I see it. So let's go. Let's see if we catch that no-run first inning, and then we'll make sure we don't have any lingering questions, and then we'll get everybody out of here.
2 outs left. Nootbaar strikes out.
Yep.
Well, one thing for one of the later games here, I was just looking at Julio Rodriguez to steal a base.
Mm-hmm.
He's stolen 4, and that was something I looked at with Ramirez too. He had stolen 5 bases since the start of June here. Rodriguez stole 4 bases since the start of June. None in the last couple of nights, but you don't have Gabriel Moreno behind the plate. You have Herrera for the D-backs today. So you are going to get, it is a lefty Eduardo Rodriguez on the mound, but you are going to get Julio Rodriguez near the top of the lineup, the away team. And he's stealing more bases now. So
base stealers against Eduardo are 4 for 4 this year for whatever it's worth.
There you go.
They try to go, they make it, and he hasn't picked anybody off.
Yeah, I was actually kind of looking just for maybe a couple to parlay for tonight, throw together. I was kind of kicking myself I didn't throw Ramirez into a little parlay with somebody for later to have something to root for. So that's kind of what I was looking at.
Cubs are killing me.
Yeah, 6-1 Phillies. It's this one is not looking great for Chicago. Boom.
Nope.
Let's see. What do we got in Toronto, St. Louis? 2-2 count, 1 out, as far as I can tell.
Yep.
Bottom of the first. Atlanta's got a man on with nobody out. I don't know if anybody has bets in this Atlanta-Milwaukee game beyond what Snyder just cashed, but
Ozuna walked. Yeah, I just need Olsen to get back up.
Yeah.
I had a speculative Braves not scoring through 3.
Interesting.
I like Chad Patrick, especially early in the game.
Yeah.
I don't think that counts as a real play, though. I didn't officially mark it as a play.
Well, you said it, so I mean, there might be some people who jumped on it for sure. Boom goes the dynamite is probably been said 1,000 times.
Drama in St. Louis.
Tell me what's happening.
Just a runner at first base.
Oh, okay. So
I was worried like a double or triple, like
last time.
Well, it's the start of drama. It's the
it is the start of drama.
Early stages.
Mason wins on base. That could definitely lead to drama with this lineup. Got Herrera Contreras next.
I love that swing. Just stayed right inside the baseball.
I will say, if there's runner in scoring position with Contreras coming up against the soft tossing lefty, I'm worried.
Yeah.
Matt says he's got to go and thanks us for the time. Thanks for being in here, Matt. Absolutely. We're only going to be on another couple of minutes as we sweat out this Toronto St. Louis bet. And in full candor, We have a few people, including Big Cheesy, that's on the yes run first inning, but then there's probably a lot more that are on the no run first inning in that one. So some people are going to be happy, some people not so much. But good.
That's the way it's going to go in these shows. We're going to have all over the action, all over the place.
It's good to have the one already in, though. The one Nerfy already in.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool. Olsen plus 145 for 2 bases. Any thoughts there, AMags?
Well, got out the first at bat, so you're going to be looking at 3, maybe 4. So that's why the number. I don't know exactly know what it was pre-live.
Drama.
Ooh, what's happening now?
What's that? Throw got away. Wynn's going to get all the way to third.
Ooh.
Sack fly scores him now, or ground out, anything. Yeah, it's now you got the drama. Need a strikeout.
Yeah, he's going to score.
Well,
congrats, Cheesy.
Well, if he's going to score, can it be like a home run? Because I have the total over as well.
Might as well.
May as well.
Go all in.
Let's get all the runs we can if we're going to get
flower meltdown.
While we're waiting for the outcome of that, is there anybody have a strong feeling about any of the plays tonight? Or, I mean, even the 4:00 games, obviously, that start in an hour and a half. Anybody, like, I know we just discussed a bunch of stuff, but like, is there anything kind of ring, whether it's a prop or a side or whatever, that anybody's
the Yankees will beat the Royals again tonight.
Ooh.
I was actually going to say, I saw you, I think you mentioned in the chat, right, Mike, that you wanted to fade Bubic?
Ooh, we got drama. We got drama. Yes, I want to fade Bubic.
2 outs.
Contreras coming up?
Yep. 2 outs, runner at third.
Get him home. So, all right, Contreras is gonna have to get a hit.
Gotta have a hit.
This is fun though. This is where it's feels like a 50.
He didn't test him. It was a ground out to first, and didn't test him.
Braves home run, Michael Harris. So my speculative Braves don't score in the first 3 did not come in. But again, no official play. No official.
Oh, let's see here.
This is very interesting.
Ooh, that's a good pitch. That's a really good pitch.
You can probably work around.
Is that Phil Cuzzy behind the dish today? It is.
You can probably work around the zone on Contreras.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even care to walk him, see if he'll swing at something outside the zone.
Dan Clark saying, thank you for all the live plays today. We'll do this again soon. We might do it for some of the night games as well in the coming weeks. So obviously, again, make sure you're subscribed to this channel. Make sure you're watching the Early Edge. And don't forget, we do the U.S. Open live chat at 4:00. That's in an hour and a half today. So a lot going on this SportsLine YouTube channel.
Yeah, I think after the finals and Stanley Cup, we were planning on doing a night show, something like this. That would be fun.
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
1-2 to Contreras. 2-2. Mike, how far are you ahead of the 2-2 count?
The zone, that's for sure.
Is he already? What are you seeing? What's the future?
I don't have it up.
Mike's got like the feed inside the stadium.
Well, the funny thing is, like, when I used to have DirecTV, like DirecTV was always almost live, and everybody who was streaming was like 2 pitches
in play.
We switched to streaming a few years ago. Streaming's always way behind.
Yeah.
In play runs.
Shit.
Yep.
Ground out, right?
No, it's a base hit.
It says runs, so Contreras came through.
Ooh. Okay. Well,
like there you go, Cheesy.
Some people be happy, some people won't. Can I just say, shout out to, like, a lot of you have put in a lot of good stuff, but Big Cheesy's kind of, I got to say, he's been kind of flooding the market here with picks, but like, I think all of them are coming in. So shout out to Big Cheesy. Again, Sniper, don't feel too bad because you just cashed the other no-run first inning. We've got a lot more bets to cash. Let's go around the horn real quick. Any final words or final bets? AMags, I'm going to start with you.
Just looking, so I did mention the one thing in the next game that Herrera was catching, so potentially look for some stolen bases from Seattle with Rodriguez, maybe Rosarena. That next game, though, the Athletics and LA Angels, I do think there's going to be some runs in that game. We have the Nick Kurtz home run from the model. I like that one. Joe Adell, always liable to go yard against a lefty, right? So I do think there's some runs to be had in that game, some interest there. Zach Neto On the hits, runs, and RBIs, total bases, he's been hot. I mean, so you gotta play him. Going to be at the top of the lineup.
All right, Sniper, final word, final bet.
Yeah. Cubs-Phillies total right now is 10.5. I like over on that. It's not just that I think the Cubs can score some runs on the bad Phillies bullpen, but if it stays on course here and the Phillies have kind of a blowout win, the Cubs don't have a day off tomorrow. They go straight home to play the Pirates at home. Counsell will want to save some of the good relievers and just use the underbelly of the Cubs bullpen to the point that he might also make somebody wear it. That is to say, if somebody's getting knocked around, don't take him out and just make him wear it so you don't use up another arm.
Mike McClure, that's really smart. Mike McClure, any final thoughts or final bets? Also, somebody was asking why you're fading Bubic tonight specifically.
Yeah, just elite lineup with the Yankees. Really good hitting conditions tonight in Kansas City. It's ballpark that matters a lot with the weather. Basically is a bottom third park most of the year, but in the warm months is a top 10 park. In Major League Baseball, just the orientation of it matters a lot. And I think that the Yankees will absolutely be sitting on that changeup. He has thrown that changeup 228 times this year, 224 of them to right-handed hitters. He only throws it to righties. That's all they're going to be sitting on because they can catch up to the 92-mile-per-hour fastball. I personally think that they will have him scouted pretty well.
Wow. Absolutely love it.
If really quick, Sia, and I know we got to go.
No.
For that play, at least, they did see Bubic earlier this year, and it was at Yankee Stadium. But in a game, where 5 1/3 innings, he did give up 7 hits and walked 4. He had 6 strikeouts. To some people's point about the strikeouts, he did have 6 strikeouts in that one. But it's the 11 base runners right there to give you 3 runs in 5 1/3. I do agree with Mike. I was mentioning it because Jeff Stenberg, I wanted to ruin his day if I could a little bit. He said, wow, it was great that I came on the show and didn't give a Yankees pick. I will give a Yankees pick. I think Cody Bellinger against the lefty. Bubic actually weirdly has been a little bit worse against lefties. Bellinger in that lefty-lefty matchup, he's been hot as well. So the hit run RBI was where I was looking for him.
I love that. I think that's the perfect way to end the show. Jeff Stenberg, sorry for ruining your day, but here we are with multiple Yankees picks, including some Yankees player props. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to get out of here as we're in the top of the second, and Toronto has a man on second with nobody out. So let's get some runs. Let's hit those bets too. What a great day. There's more to come on this channel. Don't forget the live chat, which I brought up now 3 times at 4 o'clock. It's the U.S. Open. Great. Like if you have a DFS question or a betting question, maybe you're new to golf betting or you haven't done it, get in there and kind of find out what people are talking about, what people are betting on. On behalf of Ben on the 1s and 2s and 3s and 4s, on behalf of AMags, Sniper, Mike McClure, of course, Tom Casale. This is the Early Edge. Keep it locked in right here. We'll see you next time on the Early Edge.